Hey, it's Rob Kick-Ass. We are back on the Mini. The Mini had so many problems, so many oil leaks. We did the valve cover. It had pushed out too much oil out of the other seals and they just kept leaking. So the best thing to do at this point is to pull the engine out, fix everything right, get it in there, get it ready for another 60,000 miles, because that's about what this has on it. Then we're just gonna scoot the motor out, take it all apart, put all the new seals on it, put it back in, get it down the road. Stick around, let's get on it.
Yo, the girls never get life to the sheep, least nice, but nah, he ain't nice underneath. Got a price on the leash, I don't trust when he speak. Be on a real spite for the man.
Oh yeah, Rev's here. All right, first thing is take the headlights out, pop those guys out. Then we'll be taking off some of the fender liner stuff, bolts like that. I think those little lips just pop right off. There's some bolts underneath, and this whole front end with the radiator, everything else pops right off. So in the meantime, we're gonna be draining the coolants, stuff like that. The AC, we're gonna hang the condenser and stuff maybe off the side so we don't have to disconnect that. I think we can scoot around it. I think I can push it out of the way and we should be good with that. But go ahead and we'll get into the time lapse and you'll see me yank this thing apart. All right, we've got the engine out and 64,500 something miles. Remember that. Look at all of this oil. It's supposed to be inside the engine. It's everywhere, but look at that. All over the drive belt, all over the alternators. Look at that. I mean, it's everywhere. Puddled up everywhere. Every seal is leaking. That's what these things do. They just blow out every seal. Look at that. Look at all that. I mean, it was puddling up on top of the transmission. Look at that. We're start yanking this thing apart, get it all cleaned up so it looks like a brand new motor when it goes back in. And I got a drip of oil on my dick. Aw, I smudged it. Check these things out. It's got little, I don't know what they are. I know it's for the bouncer shaft, so I guess they're access holes for the bouncer shaft. It's not even an O-ring anymore. It's plastic, petrified. Like I can't even move it. It's so hard. That's not stopping any oil. Geez, what is this? What the hell is that? BMW. Holy sh! I just can't. The amount of oil, it's ridiculous. Alright, pulling the flywheel off here. Here we go. Hemorrhaging oil. Imagine that. Oh, look at this. Yep, it's all over that thing. You can see where it's slinging all around here. We're going to reseal this oil pan too. We got to pull this cover off because we got to put that other guide in there. Let's get this oil pan off. Oh, alright. What the fuck? Not cooperating. Alright, so got the oil pan off. As we can see, there is a bunch of metal pieces, which is kind of sketching me out. It's like I'm panning for gold. Yeah. There's little metal fragments in the bottom. I don't know what that's from. That's not good. We've got some glitter. Forbidden glitter. Those are big ass chunks of metal. Look at all that freaking guide. That thing's just, it shredded it up. You don't want that in your motor. You don't want the forbidden glitter in your motor. It's not fun. It's no good. So we're gonna get all those things. We're gonna put them on a paper towel here, and we'll show you what we find in there. And Doesn't look that great. We've got a bunch of metal. It's so thin. It looks like bearing material. Oh, you know what that is? No, that definitely looks like it's thin bearing. Not good. Not good. You don't want to find that in your oil pan. Let's see if I can figure out where that's coming from. That's kind of a big deal. I'm gonna go ahead and take this side cover off here that we need to get into the good old chain cover here. Ooh, ah. Oh, look, you can see that one's coming apart right there, too. Well, more parts. What's the name of this game? Order parts, put it together, order more parts, parts, and then more parts. Alright, we're gonna pull this pickup out, off, remove it, yes. Oh yeah, let's go dump it out over here. That is definitely bearing material. There's tons in it. I'm not putting this back on the car. That's lovely. We got into this Mini and we found that the rod bearings were done skied. I found a bunch of chain guide and metal in the oil pan. So pulled the rod bearing and the motor's done. So luckily this lady has a aftermarket extended warranty, which I can honor that. So we've got another motor coming. These motors are pretty pricey. I think it was like $3,200 for this damn engine. What was it? $3,223. Yeah, not cheap. We got a lower mileage one coming from the Junkyard. Should be here in the next day or two. This is the day after Christmas, so I'm sure all the logistics is a nightmare. So I'm gonna get this cleaned up, get it ready for that other engine when it gets here, so this can be out of the way and I can just put that engine in rock and roll and slam it in there. We gotta see what it comes with, what we need to swap over from this motor. Because sometimes some junkyards you either get like all of it, like you get the wire harness, the computer. Sometimes you just get a bare block with nothing on it and you gotta swap everything over. So it's hopefully for $3,200 they give me everything. I've never used this company before for engines, so we'll see. But for now, I'm gonna get this oil pan back on here, just kissed up so I can set it on the ground and get it out of my way. I'm gonna start cleaning some of the engine bay in here. It's really nasty. Just oil everywhere. So I'm gonna try to clean all that up while I have this out and I have some dead time waiting on the engine. The motor is getting dropped off today. Should be here shortly. Jax is out there making sure that the guy parks it in the right spot. What's up?
Not often someone greets me with your own pallet jack.
It is arrived. Alright, so it's arrived. Do not remove this tag. Remove this tag. Alright. Pretty good. We're in one shape here. Good thing I have these because we're just going to put the new ones on because those are already leaking. Crank seal's leaking, so we'll put that crank seal that we have on there. Good thing I kept a bunch of seals. Good the injectors are still in there, so I don't have to mess with those. And I have to suck all this water out, so obviously it looks like it was outside. So even though it comes from a junkyard and has these plugs, you still want to check everything over really good. We're going to drain the oil, whatever's in the oil pan, check what's in the oil pan, make sure it's clean, go through all that stuff. Do that real quick. We got our motor. Yay! We can get this car out of the garage. Right now we're going to hit it with some, you know what we're going to hit it with. Spray now.
I said I promise to behave soon. Once I get a new room, once I fix my hair up real nice, go out on the town, roll the dice. I promise to behave soon. Once I find a new groove, someone who's gonna treat me right. You're a closed book and you buy your secret.
So this motor we got came out of a manual, so I had to take the flywheel, pressure plate, clutch, all that jive off. So now we're down to the rear main. It's leaking. Good thing I ordered one. So we're gonna replace this while we have it out here. I suggest this if you ever do engines or you get them from the junkyard, just go ahead and replace all the seals. Save yourself some time. If you weigh out the amount of labor to go back and do the seals, doesn't make any sense not to do them. So we're doing a brand new rear main seal right here. Then we're gonna do a brand new crank seal and those two plastic plugs on the outside. We're gonna do those, and I'm gonna do a new valve cover. Then I got gaskets for the oil cooler housing, so all these O-rings on this engine will be brand new. Look at that new rear main seal. Ooh. Pop this son of a gain after. you always want to pry away like this from the surface here. What I mean is you don't want to pry from the top of the block that way, because if you scratch the crank, you're in bad trouble. You pry off the crank towards the block, or you can stick a screw in this. Some people put a screw in the seal and then pry the screw out, which works really well. So a lot of European manufacturers, a lot of seal manufacturers come with this little tool. Pretty much just stick it onto the crankshaft and slide the old seal on there. Oopsie, does not fit like it's supposed to. Very nice, very nice. Brand new seal installed. No, it's always a good idea when you have flywheels and all these ones that have all the Loctite. You want to get a die and you want to get it tapped, and you want to tap all that junk out of there so you can put fresh new Loctite in there. Do that with all your holes. Come out in the garage late at night, clean a couple holes, tap that crank. A little oil in there. Oh, son of a biscuit. All right, it's the next morning. I ran a die around these, and there's still a bunch of Loctite in there. Since I have the vapor hone now, we're gonna do a quick little vapor hone. Get these things cleaned up real quick. If you have like little plastic containers like this, right? I literally hold it in there, stick my nozzle in there, shake it around, and do this kind of deal. And it gets them really good. They're not perfect, but they're way better than they were, and I'm happy. I got clean bolts to Loctite this flywheel on. We're gonna get into slapping this guy back together. So come along, it's gonna be a little time lapse here. What I'm doing right now is I had just put the seal on last night, so I'm going to put the flywheel on, Loctite those bolts, slap it on. I may slow down and go through those when I go do, that's what I'm gonna do. So occasionally I need torque specs. And I run inside to the computer. Okay, we are here at the computer. You put your VIN number in, and I highly recommend if you're doing any kind of engine work that you don't just Google it. All Data Repair, you get a subscription to this, and it has just about every car. I need torque specification. I'll tell you the thread pitch, the bolt. So it's a 12 by 125. And you can go in here, it'll give you step by step on what to do. Like how to remove it, all that fun stuff. Then down here we've got our torque specs. 120 Newton meters. You got your labor times too. So for instance, an airbag on this car tells you how much the airbag is, tells you time, labor times. They've got procedures, everything you could think of. Look at this, great pictures. They pretty much take the OEM manual and put it into a digital thing. That's what all data is. It's not that hard to do, but I still need to get better at navigating it. I usually use it for the electrical stuff and torque specs and labor times for quoting out people's stuff. The oil cooler that came on the Junkyard motor was cracked, so I'm going to take the one off the old motor, clean it up. I'm going to take it totally apart because there was metal in this thing, so we got to make sure there's zero metal. And then she put stop leak crap in here at one point, so we're going to get rid of that. Oh, these gasket guy worked on this thing. Look at that. Gasket guy was here. That son of a bitch. If you guys seen gasket guy, keep an eye out. But he got after this one. There's gasket shit everywhere. There should be gasket stuff on there. Should be brand new O-rings on there. So we're gonna take all these off, clean this thing, make sure there's no cracks, because these things crack all the time, and get all new O-rings. I thought I got a set, but it doesn't look like the ones I got, so I'm kind of pissed. So, we are all ready to go. And of course, what happens, I got everything together, and for some reason I didn't stare at the oil pan super hard. But now that I've been looking it over, it appears to have a gigantic crack. Looks like it's got JB Weld in it, maybe? One of those things you get when you get junkyard motors. Looks like it got drug on the ground and then dropped. That's usually dropped it. I bet you they dropped it off the forklift at the freaking record yard. So I'm gonna clean up this bottom. Then we have to yank off the oil pan off that one. Clean that oil pan up. Get it on here. Get it all on tonight so it can dry overnight and be good to go tomorrow. So I want it to dry all night, not just slap it on there. I really like to let that ultra gray dry. I've never had a leak, but you never know. Probably because I let it dry all the time. Show you all my secret weapon against oil pan gasket gunk stuff. This is the hardest part to get on your gasket stuff is this little corner. But watch this. This thing just eats it up. There. Oh, I'm gonna fall down into the... I'm good. I'm good. My garage is a disaster. All right, it's a little chilly this morning. Got the heater on. Dogs are all cuddled in the corner. We're gonna get this thing in here. I had to put the oil pan on last night. You'll see that because I found a huge crack. So we put that on. I let that dry overnight. This will be fitting this thing in there. I think I got everything on there. We're gonna go back over everything. We're gonna put fluids in it, get all these parts back on, get this front end back on, and get this thing down the road. So let's get into the time lapsing.
You get lost in the things you want, but if you slow down for just 1 second, you might feel way better than you thought. And if you took a second to breathe, took a minute to cry, well maybe you would see that all this time I've been right here. Maybe I know it, life can get hard, keep going. I just wanna be the one you need right now. Baby, would you turn and look at me right now?
It's another cold morning here with the Mini. We got it pretty much in there. He's in there going over all the final things. I do need to put a thermostat, so I gotta go to the store and get a thermostat. I forgot to order it for some silly reason. That being said, I'm gonna put the rest of the bits on, try to get the rest of everything else on, except for the front part yet, because I gotta put the thermostat ends right there and the drive belt. So those two things, I gotta go run and get them, but for now I'm gonna try to get all this other stuff back, battery box, all that stuff organized back. So that's what we're gonna do right now. Kind of warm up with this, because it's cold. Dogs are all cuddled up in here. There's Rev. Say hi, Rev. He's like, hi, Rev.
Oh yeah, baby, I know it. Life can get hard, keep going. I just wanna be the one you need right now. Baby, would you turn and look at me right now? Me right now.
All right, we gotta go run out and get the thermostat. Yeah, anytime you do a junkyard motor or any of that, you always want to put a new thermostat. Unless you, for some reason, no, you should always put one in it. That's just the best idea. Because this little bit of money can protect your entire engine. Got a little Moroccan. So let's get this sucker on there. Get this drive belt buttoned up here.
Baby, I know it. Life can get hard, keep going. I just wanna be the one you need right now. Baby, would you turn and look at me right now? Me right now.
All right, so we got that motor in and it ended up having super low compression, like 60 PSI. Put oil in, cleaned the valve, checked everything, did 100 different things to try to get it to start. So there's something going on inside the motor or something's out of whack. I contacted that company. They're sending me another motor out. That'll be our next episode next week, so stay tuned. That'll be part 3 of the mini series. This one's wrapped up for now, but thanks for stopping by. Make sure you guys go ahead and slap that subscribe button, punch it, slap it, whatever you did. But thanks for stopping by. And again, make sure your project kicks a little ass.